Great to see you again. Welcome back to the 2023 Avensky and Katz Cybersecurity Awareness Training video presented by 24/7 Security. This video is part 2 of a 2-part training video series. Without further ado, let's get started. Before we begin, let's discuss what we will cover in this training video. By the end of training video number 2, you will learn what is multi-factor authentication, implementing software updates, recommended best practices, what if you got hacked, warning signs you have been hacked, and what to do if you have been hacked. Without further ado, let us jump right into it. Let's talk about multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication, which is commonly abbreviated to MFA but also known as two-factor authentication or two-step verification, is an additional security measure that comes in a variety of ways that will help keep you and your info safe. MFA is a security measure for an account that needs multiple forms of identity verification from anyone attempting to log in. Even if someone knows your password, hackers will have a harder time accessing your accounts thanks to MFA. Because of this, we recommend you implement MFA for any account that permits it, especially any account associated with work, school, email, banking, and social media. So how does MFA really work? Let's discuss a real-world application with MFA enabled. If someone, not saying who or pointing fingers, but if someone were to write their password down on a sticky note and put that sticky note under their keyboard to keep it safe, it would not matter if someone else were to take a peek at that password and try to use it because they would not have the second form of authentication. And the easiest second step, in my opinion, is my cell phone. I always keep it on me and it will alert me if someone is trying to log into my account. If it is myself, then I approve the login from my phone after entering my password, and then I'm in. If it's not me trying to log in, then I could deny that request and I will probably also change my password. And this is just one example of using MFA. MFA can take several different forms, including typing an extra PIN, which is also known as a personal identification number in addition to your password, answering an extra security question like, what town did you go to high school in? A code sent to your email or text to your mobile number that you must enter within a short span of time, biometric identifiers like facial recognition or your fingerprint, a standalone app that requires you to approve each attempt to access an account, or even a secure token, a separate piece of physical hardware like a key fob that verifies a person's identity with a database or system. Fraudsters have occasionally managed to get around MFA. Sometimes without knowing, the owner often consents to the login because they are confused or irritated by the hacker's repeated requests for MFA authentication. With this in mind, do not authorize the request if you are receiving MFA login requests but are not attempting to log in. Afterwards, change your account password ASAP. You may also have to change the password for other accounts if they happen to have the same password, so keep that in mind when creating passwords. Don't let this deter you though. MFA is typically very safe and it is one of the best ways you can bolster the security of your data. Just like we did for passwords, let's look at some MFA statistics. 61% of people acknowledge that they use the same password on many websites. Take a look at the pie chart breakdown and you will see how shocking it is with how some people store their passwords. So, to deepen your understanding of MFA, it's important to know that MFA involves using 2 or more of the following factors. Something you know, like the city you were born in or the name of your second grade teacher. Something you have, like your phone, email, or a passcode. And then something you are, your fingerprint or even facial recognition. Okay, let's dive a little deeper and discuss these topics in more detail. Here are the many ways you can enable MFA on your accounts if they allow it. Through text message, voice message, application-based MFA, phishing-resistant MFA, fingerprint authentication, and even as face scan. Remember, use MFA together with a username and password. MFA should not be used to replace passwords, but these methods should be used in combination with usernames and passwords. Let's talk about implementing software updates. If you ever get a software update, whether it is on your phone, computer, laptop, or any piece of technology, immediately update their software. These software updates add security fixes that can prevent hackers from exploiting known or unknown vulnerabilities. Be sure to download any software updates solely from the source that made them and to never use cracked, pirated, or unlicensed products, even if a friend or a trusted person gave them to you. It will save you a lot of headaches in the future. Typically, software updates are done automatically if the software or app comes from a reliable source. Today's technologies do a great job of notifying the user that an update is ready for a download. Keep in mind though, if you see a pop-up when you visit a website asking you to download something or complete a form, these may be fake. The only thing a web browser will do is alert you to not go or stay on a website in case it is not secure or if it is infected with malware. We saw some examples of that earlier in the video. Let's talk about recommended best practices for some things we have not covered yet. These will be more specific, but they are important nonetheless. Let's talk about mobile device security. Mobile devices are vulnerable to online threats and are susceptible to physical attacks due to their portability. Here are some practical steps that will help you minimize the exposure of your mobile device to digital threats. Just like what we talked about before, using strong passwords or biometrics will be crucial. In addition, be sure to follow the 3 password guidelines in making a strong password. Limit the use of public or unsecured Wi-Fi networks. Everybody loves free Wi-Fi, especially if your data plan is limited. But cheap can turn expensive in a devastating manner because most free Wi-Fi points are not encrypted. These open networks allow cybercriminals to eavesdrop on the network traffic and quickly get your passwords, usernames, and other sensitive information. In the hands of a skilled cybercriminal, your data can be compromised in a matter of seconds. Encrypt your device. Most mobile devices are bundled with a built-in encryption feature. Encryption is the process of making data unreadable to others. Encryption is important in case of theft and it prevents unauthorized access. You simply need to locate this feature on your mobile device and enter a password to encrypt your device. This process may take time depending on the size of your data. Install an antivirus application. The files you download and the apps you install on your mobile device might contain malicious code. Installing a reputable antivirus application will improve your security. Update to the latest software. Like we talked about before, your mobile device firmware might also be vulnerable to security threats if it is not regularly updated. New loopholes might be exploited, leaving your device open to threats. To avoid that, always update your firmware and device. Be discerning. In virtually any context, your best bet at staying safe is to err on the side of mistrust. That doesn't mean being paranoid, of course, but being discerning when you're using your device. Don't click links from unknown senders. Don't download software from unknown sources. Don't provide personal information to unconfirmed sites or people. And finally, keep backups. Unfortunately, sometimes things happen. If your mobile device is compromised, you risk losing all of your data, and that includes your contacts and precious photo memories. Keep a backup so you can restore your data should your phone or data fall into the wrong hands. Our next topic of discussion is social media and how to navigate it safely. With one click of a button or tap on the screen, we can share live videos, photos, statuses, and our current location. Using these features have been part of our daily routine that we barely even think about them. Unfortunately, one small mistake can expose your personal information. Malicious people can then use it. That said, protecting your information doesn't stop at password diligence. Here are a few tips. Be vigilant about accepting or declining friend requests. Customize your privacy settings. For instance, customize who can get access to your page, who can search for you online, or who can even view your photos or videos. Be mindful of what you share. As a tip, avoid sharing your current location, especially your home address. Don't post photos of your passport or credit card information. This may seem obvious, but people get scammed because of this mistake. Remember, whatever you post online will stay online forever. You won't have control over who will share, save, or screenshot your post. So even if you delete the original post, it might still be there somewhere. Let's talk about phone scams now. There are so many online scammers that wait for the right moment to trap you with wrong intentions. These scammers might call you and claim to be from a reputable tech support providing company. They may try to trick you into a scam related to wiring money, sweepstakes, or other convincing scenarios. So be savvy with any information you give out over the phone, and you'll be in much better shape to avoid such a scam. Here are some tips to keep in mind when that unknown caller starts calling you. Don't answer unknown callers. It is recommended to avoid unknown calls so that you don't entertain any unknown service provider that tries to sell services to you. Do not wire any money or funds over the phone. Many scammers ask clients to wire money. It is impossible to reverse cash when using wired money given. If a seller keeps on insisting you to wire transfer for making payments, do not act unless you are sure about the authenticity of the deal. Never reply to messages asking you for financial or personal information. No matter whether you are receiving messages in the form of a text, email, ad, or phone call, you do not need to share your financial or personal information with the unknown message senders. Don't fall for lottery scams. These scams involve sending a message about winning a lottery, and all you must do is pay quote-unquote custom duties or another kind of fee. Be wary of these kinds of calls. Hang up on robocalls. Disconnect robocalls you have not requested. Robocalls are automated of pre-recorded voice messages. Do not press any buttons to speak with an operator or any buttons to be removed from any list. This could result in more robocalls. Get a reputable call blocking app. These apps can block and automatically block the unwanted phone numbers from ever reaching your phone, even if you later switch to a different phone. While not all apps are perfect, they should prevent you from getting unwanted calls. And finally, do not confirm or deny your identity until you know who is calling. Legitimate calls will indicate who they are and where they are from. Now for one of the most important components of this training video. What do you do if you got hacked? Here are the most notable warning signs that you may have been hacked. Have you received an email about a password reset that you did not request? The most obvious explanation is that a hacker is attempting to reset your password and access your account. Never respond to a password reset you did not request. If you are receiving random browser pop-ups that you do not usually receive, this may be a sign that your computer or system has been compromised. To clear this problem, you may need to delete recently downloaded toolbars and apps. Pop-ups may also be a sign of a device or system-wide breach that needs to be addressed. Your antivirus software may be able to help diagnose the problem. Another warning sign is when your contacts report receiving bogus emails purporting to be from you. The good news is that if these emails do not come from your email address, your computer and system are most likely safe. Hackers often pull contact email addresses from social media sites, which means you have not been personally compromised. If these emails come from your real email address, however, you have almost certainly been hacked. The best practice when you receive reports like this is to run a complete antivirus scan on your computer or phone while also deleting unwanted toolbars and programs. After that, you'll want to change all of your passwords. If you're experiencing redirected internet searches, this is a strong sign that your search engine is infected by malware. To clarify, getting redirected means you search for something on a search engine or want to go to a specific website, but then you end up on a different page that you did not intend to visit. If this happens, you will need to reset your browser settings in addition to ensuring your system has not been compromised. If your computer or network starts to run noticeably slower than usual, that can be a sign that your system was hacked. Slowness might be caused by a hacker trying to carry out an attack, using your system's resources or transferring large files over your network. To remedy this problem, investigate your network activity in Task Manager. Also, run your security software to detect any viruses or malware. And finally, a ransomware notification is a truly ominous message to receive. A large number of victims end up paying the ransom, but even then, there are often lengthy periods of downtime and extra steps required to restore the system. After everything is said and done, these are all the actionable steps you should take in case you get hacked. Change the password of whatever account you suspect that may have gotten hacked. Reach out to your email contacts and let them know that you are not the one sending those odd messages or requests and that someone hacked into your account. Change your security questions since someone was able to guess the answers and gain access to the account that was breached. Double check your breached accounts using "Have I been pwned?" This tool uses your email or phone number to search its ever-expanding list of breached credentials, offering a great way to catch anything the other checkers missed. Feel free to pause the video and Google, "Have I been pwned?" You may find out some interesting information you might not have known before. Enable MFA at every opportunity that it presents itself. Scan your computer for malware and viruses. Change any accounts that may have had the same password, and monitor your credit for signs of leaked information. Scammers can use stolen information to gain access to your bank accounts and credit. Let's wrap up this cybersecurity training video series with a quick summary of what you learned throughout. Everything you've learned in this cybersecurity training video series has been extremely important and will help protect you, your data, and your peace of mind if followed diligently. However, if you are wondering which ones to prioritize first, here are the most important ones to start with. Enable MFA in all possible accounts. Implement all software updates when they are made available. Utilize the 3 password guidelines, those being long, unique, and complex, and do not reuse the same password for multiple accounts. To continue, recognize the warning signs that you've been hacked before it's too late. Spot the phish. Think before you click on any links or emails and read carefully. What happens if you see a phishing email? Delete it. And finally, report any phishing emails you may see if your email provider allows you to do so. Thank you very much for watching this cybersecurity awareness training. We hope you learned a thing or two about what you can do to protect your data and, most importantly, yourself. Remember, don't risk it, secure it.